Good team win. All three phases chipped in. Guys made plays. We've had some interceptions have been fantastic. Some knockdowns on the quarterback, which on defense have been great. We ran the ball pretty well today. Considering our quarterback didn't practice this week, I felt that, we're asking a lot with a freshman throwing the ball with him when he didn't have any of those practice reps. So I don't think we certainly didn't take a step forward in that category, and I didn't think we would. A lot of good yardage, hidden yardage in the stats with Mike Walker's returns on punts, which was great for us. I think, we were able to put enough on tape for them to see that ability for us to get after that punter, and so they sacrificed punting distance for getting the ball out, which put us in great opportunity for Mike to return the kicks. All in all, coming off a week where we were pretty banged up, a lot of guys missed practice, including quarterback, and so I think the ability to come out here and play with some physicality on both sides of the lines, offense and defensive lines, get a win, get that great feeling again. I'm pleased with that, and looking forward to get the conference play next week.
Good. Just raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you.
Steve, you talk about Michael Walker. How much of a spark is he where he can just turn a game like that, where he did for you early?
Well, he's certainly been a spark for us on special teams, without a doubt. And he's done a great job on our kickoff returns. He's now done he's continuing to do a great job on our punt returns. So those are valuable plays, valuable yardage, valuable plays. And so I'm very, very pleased with that, very, very pleased with our punt coverage. We had that one mishap last week at the very end of the game, but otherwise it's been outstanding. Our kickoffs between Max kicking it out, even against a strong headwind today at times, based on what side of the field we were going to. I've been very, very pleased with that. I think I'm a little disappointed in missing our field goal today. We had a really beautiful kind of kill the clock, wind it down, grind it down the field, and then we missed the field goal and you come away with no points. That's something that I'd like to think we're beyond that, and that showed up today, which I'm disappointed in. But we'll get that right. We'll continue to grow there as well.
How do you manage just like coming off of games like last week and the week before with Clemson and Notre Dame, and then you have MAC team, and then next week you have Tech. And then I mean? It's a different swing where you go from those environments to the MAC game. But these are games that you have to win.
Yeah, you're right. Every game's really important, but those are pretty good, sizable emotional roller coasters. And what's hidden in there is not only emotional roller coasters, but there's physical tolls taken in those games. We lost Max Richardson, and that was a physical toll taken on us. So now we're putting another young player plugged into our defense, and we're not playing. We're playing some some high level teams. So at this stage of the game, you're looking at a lot of teams in the country that are 4-0 or whatever, and haven't really played anybody yet. Now some of that reality is coming into focus again. We saw a couple games last night, and so that starts that we haven't had that. But to think though that. I mean, we open up with a MAC team. That MAC team beat Nebraska, okay? And we were on the road. To think that stuff doesn't add up, it does. To think that positive confidence and momentum doesn't matter, it does. And so, we're doing this the long, hard way right now, which is, front-ending some really tough teams, although we still got many tough teams to go. That's the nature of where we are in this conference and the division and the side that we play on. I've been doing this a long time. This is powerful, and I was in the SEC when it was powerful. Okay, this is powerful, and so and we're doing it with a bunch of guys, some of which have some experience, a bunch don't because of injuries, only because of injuries. But here's the beautiful thing: these young guys, this is like so valuable right now. The learning lessons here are so valuable, and these other guys that are gone now for the year, they're all coming back. They'll be back. And this will be a 4th, 5th year team, And so, I keep looking at that. I mean, you're watching John and A.J. run the ball, and that offensive line, I mean, they're down 4 starters up front, but they kind of rally back. And so, for me, I have to keep that in focus and then realize just, who we're playing. And I'm going to tell you guys something. It was really cool, okay? the attitude in that locker room and the mindset and the joy and the passion, you know, this is a tough group of guys that take some punches and keep grinding. You know why? Because I think they know and believe in their heart that everything we do is an investment that's just going to come back. And if anybody can't see that, then they don't really understand football or really get it. Don't really get it, okay? And that's life.
We'll go to Mike in the second row, and then Mike will raise. Go ahead, Mike.
Steve, kind of to your point about the heart that your running game showed, I mean, the way the game started, you kind of get stuffed. And then the first drive, the second half, I think you guys had 10 runs out of the 12 plays and kind of dominated. How did that come about, I guess?
I mean, you know, we opened the game. We went for the 4th down. You know, I'm not going to get into what happened on that play right there. But, I mean, you know, it is what it is. We go for it. Went for it. And then we got the punt right down the 1. And then we had a miscue up front and hit us in the backfield. But, you know, just, you know, those things are going to happen right now. You're talking about the apex of your offense has got first-year players in there right now. So you just got to be steady in the boat. And I just kind of said, don't worry about it. We'll be fine. You know, we're going to be fine. Just keep grinding, guys. Let this thing build that confidence a little bit. You know, just overcome, weather it, and come out of it. And it was kind of that mindset at halftime. You know, and our guys knew that. You know, we're kind of blocking them, but we just have this mechanism right now because we have some interchangeable parts in here that aren't quite grooved in right, and they will. They're going to get better and better and better and better. But that's what happens, you know, because offense is such a precision thing that, you know, everyone's got to kind of fire right. And when you don't, and they're at the POA, some not so good things can happen. So early on, it was just, you know, just kind of like steady in the boat. We're fine. We'll be fine. You know, and I want them to know that, you know, total belief and confidence in them. That's why, you know, went for a couple other 4th down calls. Be fine. You know, and we got to grow through this. We got to, you know, and this is all part of it. It's part of it, and it's going to be some rough spots along the way with that. But that's just the way it is, you know. And I'm really pleased with their approach, their demeanor, their resiliency, and they came back and showed that. And that's very valuable to me to see when I watch it, you know, from the side.
At the beginning of the season, you had mentioned that vertically and horizontally, you thought the offense was doing well, but between the tackles, there was still some trouble. Now, today, a lot of Hillman and Dillon's yards did come between the tackles. Yeah. Have you seen the line develop, particularly on those tackles with Aaron Montero and Marcel Lazaro?
I know. Yeah. Well, I think our development is herky-jerky a little bit, you know, and I think a lot of that has to do with who's healthy, who's practicing, who's not. You know, it took us a while today to kind of groove in a little bit, you know, because, you know, Aaron was pretty banged up this week, okay? I mean, you know, he had a pretty sizable injury last Saturday. So, you know, and so those are some of the things I think that are happening. Like, you know, it's kind of got this needs a little work. We get going there and kind of get that. Then all of a sudden this needs, it kind of feels like that, you know, and like, quite frankly, I think our first and second down play action game, we got to get it going. It was the strength of our team in preseason camp, the absolute strength. And right now, it hasn't been. Got to get that going. That's got to get going. Simple as that.
Defensively, too, we saw a little bit, looks like Harold Landry was playing some outside linebacker today. Why the decision to move him over there?
Just schematically, we're growing. You know, we're continuing to grow. We're trying to adapt based on some of the personnel hits that we've taken, to be honest with you. I mean, we're taking a lot of hits, right? I mean, we lost, you know, when you talk about Sharif Grice, we lost him. And then we lost Connor, and then we lost Max, and we're getting to the point where we have to account for future issues, right? We have a lot of football left to play. So we're trying to do some things to give us a little bit more versatility, if you will, okay? So we're looking at a couple of different things right now, you know, trying to get absolutely to squeeze out the best we can of everybody to give us a little bit of more depth, or so to speak.
You've been talking about wanting to feature Dylan for a while now, but how have you seen him and John sort of work off of each other?
Great. I mean, I'm really pleased with that. You know, now we've seen that against really good opponents right now, that I think John has really elevated his play. And I think AJ continues to elevate his play, get more experience, and he's getting more comfortable as we go. And so the two of those two guys combining together, I think there's a really nice kind of flow there right now. And I like watching it. John does a great job as an older guy leading, and these are really good guys, and they have talent. And so I'm enjoying that piece of it right now, watching that develop. And so.
Also, how is Lucas managed to be at the right place at the right
Yeah, he's got like 5 picks, I think. Is that? He got 5 picks on the year. I mean, he's doing a great job. He's another guy. He's a first-year player. He's never really played. He played a little bit, bits and pieces, but he's starting to gain some confidence, starting to gain some, some experience. And so I think he's more comfortable in the different coverage schemes. We play a little bit more zone, and there was a time all we played here was man. And, we have to play a little bit more zone. And so we're playing a little bit more zone. And I think he's growing with that, as are the other guys. They're learning how to play a little more zone. We play both now, man and zone, as opposed to just man,
Last week, the defensive special teams did a whole lot of work.
Yep.
Put the offense in some good spots.
Yes.
Turnovers and
Yep.
capitalize. Like, this week, was it good to see that the work that the defense did do and the special teams kind of paid off on the scoreboard?
Yeah. I think it's just playing good, trying to play better team football. Last week we're just playing against some really elite talent out there. We had some really good opportunities. We knew we'd have about 4 or 5 opportunities on offense last week. We were able to capitalize a couple, but we missed a few. And you can't do that on the road against a team like that. But we played them so nose up, And this week, I think, like I said, we took advantage of good field position from our special teams and from defense, and we were able to really insert the running game, and that was a good thing, So I think it's just good collection team football. It's got to grow. It's got to continue to get better. It's not where it needs to be yet, and it needs to continue to get there, and we need to keep developing each phase. And what happens is we get a little, why is that? Someone say, well, why? Because each week we're losing key pieces, and we're starting to run out of some of those key pieces. You just can't take a guy that hasn't played really much before, put him in, and think you're going to have this unbelievable level of play. That's not going to happen. It's going to take some time. So we've had to juggle that along the way. We're down 7 starters, and I thought, quite frankly, I didn't know if Anthony would play in this game, okay? And that would have been 8, and that would be like, whoa, and he did, and which I give him a lot of credit, and I give Aaron Montero did. I give him a lot of credit because it's really important to these guys, and they know that their teammates really need them, and they know it, and so they're doing everything they can to get back on their feet and get going as fast as possible. But to say either one of them, we're at maximum level ability today? No, not really, not even close.